Hi friends, welcome back to i-TUTOR NCERT series. Today we are going to discuss Class 9 Geography NCERT Chapter 5 Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. Our country, India, is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. With about 47,000 plant species, India occupies 10th place in the world and 4th in Asia in plant diversity. There are about 15,000 flowering plants in India, which account for 6% in the world's total number of flowering plants. The country has many non-flowering plants such as ferns, algae, and fungi. India also has approximately 90,000 species of animals as well as a rich variety of fish in its fresh and marine waters. Natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. So what is natural vegetation? So the natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid. Okay, so there is no human aid, without human aid, and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. So that is called natural vegetation. This is termed as a virgin vegetation. Thus, cultivated crops and fruits, orchids form parts of vegetation but not natural vegetation. Okay, so the cultivated crops and fruits and orchids, these are parts of vegetation but they are not natural vegetation. Okay, because they are grown with the help of human aid. Okay, but natural vegetation does not need the help of human, or it grows naturally without the human aid. Okay, the term flora is used to denote plants. Okay, so the term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region or period. Similarly, the species of animals are referred to as fauna. Okay, so that's the flora and fauna. Flora means plants and fauna means animals. This huge diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is due to the following factors. Okay, so let's check the factors which help for the diversity of our land. First one is relief. So in relief, let's consider first one land. Land affects the natural vegetations directly and indirectly. Do you expect the same type of vegetation in mountains, plateaus and plains areas in the dry and wet regions? Okay, obviously not. The nature of land influences the type of vegetation. The fertile level is generally devoted to agriculture. The undulating and rough terrains are areas where grassland and woodlands develop and give shelter to a variety of wildlife. Okay, so that is the land. That's about the land. And next one is soil. Let's check how soil affects. The soils also vary over space. Different types of soil provide basis for different types of vegetation. The sandy soil of the desert support cactus and thorny bushes, while wet, marshy, deltaic soil support mangroves and deltaic vegetation. Okay, so the soil also different types. How like in the sandy soils of desert, it support cactus and thorny bushes, while the wet, marshy, deltaic soil support the mangroves and deltaic vegetation. The hill slopes with some depth of soil have conical trees. Okay, so the hill soil or the hill slope with some depth of soil, they support the growth of conical trees. Now, second factor is climate. Temperature. The character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by the temperature along with the humidity. Okay, not only temperature and it also the humidity in the air, and also the precipitation and soil. Okay, so these are some other factors, but first one is the temperature along with humidity, then precipitation and soil. On the slope of the Himalayas and the hills of the peninsula above the height of 915 meters, the fall in temperature affects the type of vegetation and its growth, and it changes it from tropical to subtropical temperate and alpine vegetation. Okay, so what first one, the temperature along with the humidity in the air, precipitation and soil also affect the vegetation. Now, on the slope of Himalayas and the hills of peninsula above the height of 950 meters, the fall in the temperature affect the types of vegetation and its growth, and it changes from tropical to subtropical temperate and alpine vegetation. Now, look at this. These are some vegetation zones and mean annual temperature, mean annual average temperature, then mean temperature in January and remarks. First one is tropical. So the mean annual average temperature of tropical area is above 24 degrees Celsius and the mean temperature in January is above 18 degree. So there is no frost formation. Next one is subtropical. Okay, the vegetation zone is subtropical. The mean annual vegetation temperature is between 70 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius and in January it affects 10 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees Celsius. So the frosts are rare in that place. Next one is temperate. It's 7 degrees Celsius to 17 degrees Celsius in mean annual temperature and in January it affects minus 1 degree Celsius to minus 10 degrees Celsius. So frost, some snow. And last one is alpine vegetation. Below 7 degrees Celsius in the mean annual average temperature. Also in January it affects below 1 degree Celsius. Below minus 1 degree Celsius. So the remarks is snow. Okay, there we can see the snow. Next one is photoperiod, that is sunlight. The variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to different in latitude, altitude, season and duration of the day. Due to longer duration of sunlight, trees grows faster in summer. Okay, so due to the longer duration, we know the summer season affects very much sunlight. So that's why due to the longer duration of sunlight, trees grow faster in the summer season. Next one is precipitation. In India, almost the entire rainfall is brought in by the advancing southwest monsoon, that is June to September. Okay, so we know India affect the water or India affect the rain mainly in the June to September months, that is the monsoon season. And also the retreating northeast monsoons. Okay, the mainly India get the water from or India get the rainfall from the monsoon season, that's from the June to September, and also the retreating monsoon, that is the northeast monsoon. Areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to other areas of less rainfall. Forests are renewable resources and play a major role enhancing the quality of environment. They modify local climate, control soil erosion, regulate stream flow, support a variety of industries, provide livelihood for many communities and offer panoramic or scenic view for recreation. Okay. It controls wind force and temperature and causes rainfall. It provides humans to the soil and shelter to the wildlife. India's natural vegetation has undergone main changes due to several factors such as the growing demand for cultivated land, development of industries and mining, urbanization and overgrazing of patches. Okay, so these are some of the factors that contribute to the decline of our natural vegetation, okay, or decline of the forest. Except in some inaccessible regions like Himalayas, the hilly regions of the central India and the Marustali, the vegetation of most of the areas has been modified at some places or replaced or degraded by human occupancy. Okay, so most of the places are now under the control of humans and they are trying to destroy that places, okay, by building new structures and other things. Okay. Now ecosystem. Plants occur in distinct group of communities in areas having similar climatic conditions. The nature of the plants in an area to a large extent determines the animal life of that area. Okay, so the nature of the plant also determines the animal life of that area. When the vegetation is altered, the animal's life also changes. All the plants and animals in an area are interdependent and interrelated to each other in their physical environment, thus forming an ecosystem. Human beings are also an integral part of the ecosystem. Okay, so humans are also an integral part of the ecosystem. So the ecosystem consists of plants, animals and human beings. Now, they utilize the vegetation and the wildlife. The greed of human beings leads to overutilization of these resources. They cut the trees and kill the animals, creating ecological imbalance. As a result, some of the plants and animals have reached a verge of extinction. Okay, so due to these reasons, because the humans are very greedy now and they are using the forest and they are utilizing the resources, okay, very badly. So that as a result, some of the plants and animals are already distinct or extinct, okay. Now, a very large ecosystem and ecosystem on land having distinct types of vegetation and animal life is called a biome. So what is a biome? A very large ecosystem. Biome means a very large ecosystem on land having distinct type of vegetation and animal life. Okay, so it has a distinct type of vegetation and animal life. So this is called biome. The biomes are identified on the basis of plants. Now, types of vegetation. So in India, mainly 5 types of vegetations are there. The first one is tropical evergreen forest, then tropical deciduous forest, then third one is tropical thorn forest and scrubs. Next one is mountain forest and mangrove forest. Okay, so these are the major types of vegetation in India. So first one is tropical evergreen forest. These forests are restricted to heavy rainfall areas of the Western Ghats and the island groups of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar and the upper parts of Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. Okay, so these forests are mainly in the Western Ghats and the island groups of Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar, then the upper parts of the Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. They are at their best in areas having more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. So the rainfall level is 200 centimeter, more than 200 centimeter. With a short dry season, the trees reach great heights up to 60 meters or even above. Since the region is warm and wet throughout the year, it has a luxuriant vegetation of all kinds, that is trees, shrubs and creepers, giving it a multi-layered structure. There is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves. Okay, so there is no definite time for tree to shed their leaves. So that's why the forests are always appearing green in color. So that's why this is known as tropical evergreen forest. Okay, because they are always appearing green color. Okay, because they do not have a definite time to shed their leaves. Okay. Now, some of the commercially important trees of this forest are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber, and cinchona. The common animals found in this forest are elephants, monkeys, lemur, and deer. The unhorned rhinoceros are found in the jungles of Assam and the West Bengal. Besides these animals, plenty of birds, bats, sloths, scorpions, and snails are also found in this jungle. Okay, so besides these animals, there are also birds, bats, sloths, scorpions, and snails are also found in this jungle. Okay, so that's about the tropical evergreen forest. So what are the characteristics of tropical evergreen forest? First one is they receive heavy rainfall, that is up to 200 centimeter and above. Then they mainly seen in the Western Ghats, island groups of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, and upper part of Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. Then they are warm and wet throughout the year. The trees, scrubs, and creepers are also found in these areas. And also the trees do not have a definite time to shed their leaves. So they always appear as a green color. So that's why the name evergreen forest. And mainly the trees like ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber, and cinchona are present in this forest. The animals like elephants, monkey, lemur, and deer also present. And also the unhorned rhinoceros. Okay, the unhorned rhinoceros are found in the jungles of Assam and West Bengal. Besides these animals, there are plenty of birds, or sloth, scorpions, bats, and snails are also present. Okay, so that's about the tropical evergreen forest. Next one is tropical deciduous forest. These are the most widespread forests in India. So these are the most widespread forests in India. They are also called the monsoon forest and spread over the region receiving rainfall between 200 centimeter and 70 centimeter. Okay, so they are in the region between the rainfall of 70 centimeter and 200 centimeter. Okay, and also they are known as monsoon forests. They are most widespread in India. And the main character is trees of this forest shed their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in the summer. Okay, so the trees of this forest shed their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer season. Okay. On the basis of the availability of water, these forests are further divided into moist and dry deciduous. The former is found in areas receiving rainfall between 200 and 100 centimeter. Okay, so that is the moist deciduous forest. That is the rain receiving between 200 and 100 centimeter. These are known as moist deciduous forest. These forests exist therefore mostly in the eastern part of the country. So these forests are mainly in the eastern part of the country and northeastern states, along with the foothills of Himalayas, Jharkhand, West Orissa, and Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. Okay, so in these areas we can see the moist deciduous forest. Teak is the most dominant species of this forest. Bamboos, sal, shisham, sandalwood, khair, kusum, arjun, mulberry, and other commercially important species are also found here. Okay, so that's about the moist deciduous forest. Okay, this is about moist deciduous forest. Now, the dry deciduous forests are found in the areas having rainfall between 100 centimeter and 70 centimeter. So the moist deciduous are found in between the rainfall receiving between the 200 centimeter and 100 centimeter, but the dry deciduous is between 100 centimeter and 70 centimeter. These forests are found in the rainier parts of the peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. There are open stretches in which teak, sal, peepal, neem grow. A large part of this region has been cleared for cultivation and some parts are used for grazing. In this forest, the common animals found are lion, tiger, pig, deer, and elephant. A huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes, and tortoises are also found here. So that's about the dry deciduous forest. Okay, so the deciduous forests are further classified into two: moist deciduous and dry deciduous. So the moist deciduous is area receiving rainfall between 200 and 100 centimeter. They are mainly seen in the eastern part of the country, the northeastern states, along with the foothills of Himalayas, Jharkhand, West Orissa, Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of Western Ghats. And the main trees are teak, then also bamboos, sal, shisham, sandalwood, khair, kusum, arjun, mulberry, and other commercially important species. Now second one is dry deciduous forest. The areas having rainfall between 100 centimeter and 70 centimeters, and these forests are found in the rainier part of the peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. And the main trees are teak, sal, peepal, neem. Now they have a wide variety of animals like lion, tiger, pig, deer, and elephant. And they have a huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes, and tortoises. Okay. So the next one is the thorn forest and scrubs. In regions with less than 70 centimeter of rainfall, the natural vegetation consists of thorny trees and bushes. This type of vegetation is found in the northwestern part of the country, including semi-arid areas of the Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. Okay, so the thorny forest or these types of trees are mainly found in the northwestern part of the country, including semi-arid areas of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. Now, acacias, palms, euphorbias, and cacti are main plant species. Trees are scattered and have long roots penetrating deep into soil in order to get moisture. Okay, so the root of the trees are long and deep into the soil. The stems are succulent to conserve water. Okay, so the stems are succulent to conserve the water, and also the leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize the evaporation process. These forests give way to the thorn forest and scrubs in arid areas. In these forests, the common animals are rat, mice, rabbit, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, and horses, camels. Okay, so these are the important animals or important species in this forest. Next one is mountain forest. In mountainous areas, the decrease in temperature with increasing altitude leads to the corresponding change in natural vegetation. So, when the altitude increases, what happened? The temperature become decreases. Okay, altitude increase, temperature decreases. So the decrease in temperature with the increasing altitude leads to the corresponding change in natural vegetation. As such, there is a succession of natural vegetation belt in some order as we see from the tropical to the tundra region. The wet temperate types of the forest are found between a height of 1000 and 2000 meters. Evergreen broadleaf trees such as oaks and chestnut predominate. Between 1500 and 3000 meters, temperate forests containing coniferous trees like pine, deodar, silver fir, spruce and cedar are found. Okay, so these are found between the 1500 and 3000 meters. The forest covers mainly of the southern slopes of Himalayas, places having high altitude in southern and northeast India. Okay, so these are, we can see the mountain forest. Now, at higher elevation, temperate grasslands are common. Okay, so at the higher elevation, temperate grasslands are also seen. At high altitudes, generally more than 3600 meters above the sea level, temperate forests and grasslands give way to alpine vegetation. Okay, so after the 3600 meters, the temperate forest and grassland give way to the alpine vegetation. Then we can see the alpine vegetation on that regions above 3600 meters. Silver fir, junipers, pines and birches are the common trees of these forests. However, they get progressively stunted as they approach the snow line. Ultimately, through shrubs and scrubs, they merge into the alpine grassland. These are used extensively for grazing by nomadic tribes like the Gujars and Bakarwals. Okay, so these are mainly or extensively used by the extensively used for grazing by the nomadic tribes like the Gujars and the Bakarwals. At high altitudes, mosses and lichens form part of tundra vegetation. Okay, so at the high altitudes, mosses and lichens form a part of tundra vegetation. The common animals found in these forests are Kashmir stag, spotted deer, wild sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak, snow leopard, squirrels, shaggy horn, wild ibex, bear, and rare red panda, sheep, and goat with thick hair. Okay, so these are the important animals found in these regions or these areas. Okay, first one, the Kashmir stag, spotted deer, wild sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak, snow leopard, squirrels, shaggy horn, wild ibex, bear, and rare red panda, sheep, and goats. Okay, so these are the important animals found in these areas. Next one is mangrove forest. The mangroves tidal forests are found in the areas of coast influenced by tides. Mud and silt get accumulated on such coasts. Dense mangroves are the common varieties with roots of the plants submerged under the water. The deltas of the Ganga, the Mahanadi, the Krishna, the Godavari, and the Kaveri are covered by such vegetation. In the Ganga-Brahmaputra delta, Sundari trees are found. Okay, so in the Ganga-Brahmaputra delta, we can find the Sundari trees, which provide durable hard timber. Palm, coconut, kiora, agar also grown in some part of the delta. And mainly the Royal Bengal tiger is the famous animal in these forests. Turtles, crocodiles, gharials and snakes are also found in these forests. Okay, so that's about the mangrove forest. Now, the wildlife of India. Like its flora, India is also rich in its fauna. It is approximately 90,000 animal species. The country has about 2,000 species of birds. They consist of 13% of the world's total. There are 2,546 species of fish, which account for nearly 12% of the world's stock. It also shares between 5 and 8% of the world's amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. The elephants are the most majestic animal among the mammals. Okay, so the Indian fauna is also very high because it has approximately 90,000 animal species and it has about 2,000 species of birds and they constitute 13% of the world's total. Now, The elephant are the most majestic animals among the mammals, and they are mainly found in the hot wet forest of Assam, Karnataka and Kerala. Okay, so the elephants are mainly seen in the hot wet forest of Assam, Karnataka and Kerala. Horned rhinoceros are other animals which live in swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal. Okay, so horned rhinoceros are also found in the swampy and marshy regions of Assam and West Bengal. Arid areas of the Rann of Kutch and the Thar Desert are the habitat for wild ass and camels respectively. Okay, so in the arid areas of Rann of Kutch and in the Thar Desert, the arid area of Rann of Kutch we can see the wild ass. Okay, and in this Thar Desert the camels are also present. Indian bison, nilgai, that is blue bull, chausinga, four-horned antelope, gazelle, and different species of deer are also some other animals found in India. It also has several species of monkeys. India is only country with the world that has both tigers and lion. Okay, so the India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lion. The natural habitat of the Indian lion is the Gir forest in Gujarat. So in the Gir forest we can see the lion. Tigers are found in forest of Madhya Pradesh and the Sundarbans of West Bengal and Himalayan region. Leopards too are the member of the cat family. They are important among the animals to prey. Okay, so repeat again. Mainly the first one is elephant. They are mainly found in the hot wet forest of Assam, Karnataka and Kerala. Then the unhorned rhinoceros, they are mainly found in the swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal. Then in Rann of Kutch we can find the wild ass, and Thar Desert the camels are found. Then also the Indian bison, nilgai, chausinga, gazelle are also found in the India. Then the lions and tigers are only found in India. That is, India is the only country in the world that has both lions and tigers. The natural habitat of the Indian lion is the Gir forest that is present in the Gujarat. And tigers are mainly found in the Madhya Pradesh, Sundarbans and Himalayan region. Now moving forward, the Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals which survive in extreme cold. So we know the temperature of Himalaya is extreme cold. The Ladakh's freezing high altitudes are home to yak, the shaggy horned wild dogs weighing around 1 ton, then the Tibetan antelope, the barrel, that is the blue sheep, then wild sheep, and the kiang, that is Tibetan wild ass. Furthermore, the ibex, bear, snow leopard, and very rare red panda are found in the certain pockets. In the rivers, lakes, and coastal areas, turtles, crocodiles, and gharials are found. The latter is the only representative of a variety of crocodile found in the world today. Okay, so these portions we already discussed, that way we erase that. Now, the bird life in India is colorful. Peacocks, pheasants, ducks, prakrit, cranes, and pigeons are some of the birds inhabiting the forest and wetlands of the country. We have selected our crops from a biodiverse environment, that is, from the reserve of edible plants. We also experimented and selected many medicinal plants. The animals were selected from large stock provided by nature as mills animal. They also provide us drought power, transportation, meat, eggs, etc. The fish provide nutritive food. Many insects helps in pollination of crops and fruit trees and exert biological control on such insects which are harmful. Every species has a role to play in the ecosystem. Hence, conservation is essential. As has been mentioned earlier, due to the excessive exploitation of the plants and animals resources by human beings, the ecosystem has been disturbed. About 1,300 plant species are endangered and 20 species are extinct. Quite a few animal species are also endangered and some have become extinct. The main cause for this major threat to the nature are hunting by greedy hunters for commercial purposes. Pollution due to chemical and industrial waste, acid deposits, introduction of alien species, and reckless cutting of the forest to bring land under cultivation and inhabitation are also responsible for the imbalance. Okay, so these are some factors that contribute to the imbalance of our ecosystem. Mainly the pollution due to the chemical and industrial waste, then acid deposits, introduction of alien species, a reckless cutting of the forest. Okay, most of them are the greedy characters of human beings. Now, to protect the flora and fauna of the country, the government has taken many steps. First one, 14 biosphere reserves has been set up in the country to protect flora and fauna. As of now, it is 18 biosphere reserves. Okay, that time only 14, but now it's 18 biosphere reserves. 4 out of these, the Sundarbans, the West Bengal, Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand, the Gulf of Mannar in the Tamil Nadu, and the Nilgiri, that is spread in Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, have been included in the World Network of Biosphere Reserves. Now, financial and technical assistance is provided to many botanical gardens by the government since 1992. So, the government provided financial as well as technical assistance to many botanical gardens. Then, Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bustard, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced. Then, 89 national park, but actually now there is 106 national parks. Okay, as of 2024, there are 106 national parks. And not 490 wildlife sanctuaries, there is 573 wildlife sanctuaries are today. 573. Okay, so there are 106 national parks and 573 wildlife sanctuaries and zoological gardens are set up to take care of natural heritage. All of us must realize the importance of the natural ecosystem for our own survival. It is possible if indiscriminate destruction of the natural environment is put to an immediate end. Okay, so that's about this chapter. If you have any doubts, please comment below. For more videos, do like, share, subscribe.